Welcome back to Senior Circle here on 1310 KFKA in Greeley, Colorado. We broadcast from the fabulous CRP 4x4 studios at 1310 KFKA. My name is Gil Mooner. I'm your host for Senior Circle and Golden Years Theater every Sunday evening from 6 until 10. We're brought to you by The Bridge Assisted Living right here in Greeley, the Goldilocks of assisted living. Not too big, not too small, but just right.
Amen.
Amen. So Ann Switzing is with me this morning. Again, she's our co-host. She is the Community Relations Director at The Bridge of Greeley and a very dear friend. Thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure. Glad to be here. Happy Sunday.
Well, it's always fun to have you here. It really
you.
is. We're brought to you by Windsong Memory Care, a brand new Montessori-inspired memory care community right here in northern Colorado. That's Windsong at Northridge over at 7010 West 8th Street. So if you get a chance, you might want to go by and take a look at their facility as well. Garden Square Assisted Living and Memory Care, creating environments where moments of joy, independence, and wellness are the focus of each and every day. You've been to both of those places, haven't you, sir?
I have.
Lovely people.
Great
Lovely
places.
people. Mosher Funeral and Cremation Services, locally owned and operated, honoring the achievements of your loved ones and celebrating life you shared together. Fair Acres Manor, right here in Greeley, where they put the home back in nursing home. The 50-plus Marketplace News, the #1 monthly publication for those of us in the over 50 crowd. And, of course, Columbine Health Systems, caring for seniors in both Loveland and Fort Collins since 1971, and now open in Windsor at the corners of 15th Street in Maine. Please remember that at Columbine, your family. Well, Sue Ann, it's so good to have you with us.
Good morning, Gil. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. You're busy, aren't you?
We are. We have great things happening at the bridge, and we welcome anybody and everybody in to
Well, let's
partake.
get right to them, Pilgrim, and let's find out about
You
what's happening.
bet.
You handed me a bunch of material here. Why don't we start at the top and tell me what's the
right.
closest one coming up? Is that the spooky thing? Oh, no, that was last week.
That
wasn't
was Friday, and we had
Oh,
a great
yeah,
turnout,
that's right.
and the
That
kids
was a good
loved
time.
it, and we had Rosie from the Butterfly Pavilion in. And
Did you see Betty when you brought out Rosie?
she
Climbed under the table.
She did. She didn't like that so much, but that's why we had the fun things in the living room and then treats in the activity room for everybody. Something for everybody.
You know, Betty
So
loves to come
we'll-
over there to the bridge because she says everybody loves her over there, and I think that's true. Everybody is lovely
We
over
do.
there.
Yeah, we love everyone that walks in the front door. The first thing we have is on the 7th is an open house from 1 to 3.
That's every Sunday, though, isn't it?
That's the Sunday,
The first Sunday of the
every
month. That's right. I have
Yes.
another poster of that one, too. Thank you.
Yeah, right. And then on the 9th, we will be honoring our veterans. Such an important part of who we are and how our freedom rings. We really welcome all veterans and their families in so that we can honor the service that they've had for our country.
Have you talked to Brad Hoops?
Not for that particular one, but I know Brad.
Yeah, you might want to invite him to one of these things.
You
You know, he's
bet.
so good with the veterans, and he wrote
Yeah.
that wonderful book, Reflections of Our Gentle
Right.
Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that this morning. I got one of the first copies of that, and I knew 3 of the guys that were in there, and it just brought me to tears because some of those stories are just
Their
heartbreaking.
stories
They
are
really
amazing, and we have 8 veterans in our community right
8?
now, and
Is that
we're
right?
just really enjoying that. And we have one that's still, taking care of people. He has put white tape on the back of his shoe so that his neighbor across the hall, who has macular degeneration, can see him walking down the hall and make it back to her apartment after dinner time. It's
That's so
special.
nice.
Yeah.
You know, Denny Moyer used to come in here regularly. Now Melody comes in once in a while and talks. They have their eyeball thing coming up here. I think
Yeah.
it's the 31st.
Uh-huh.
But, when I first met Denny, I did not know that her name used to be Bettenhausen.
Okay.
And Richard Grease brought her in here, and I did not know that she had been blind since she was 19.
It's amazing how people navigate with difficulties that are physical.
What do you say we introduce our other guests real quick before we
bet.
go on and talk about it? We are so happy to have with us for the very first time in here Chris Schneider, and what is your title? I had it here a minute ago.
I am our community engagement
Let
director.
me see what I have here. Community engagement manager. That's terrific. So it's director, not manager, huh?
Yep.
Let me change that one. We'll be sure we get this right for the website. And we have Tiffany Skoglund, who is a regular guest on this show. And
I sure am.
let me get your thing. You're recreation supervisor at the Greeley Active Adult Center, newly renamed, huh?
Yep, newly. Well, we're going on almost 6 months, so we're getting there.
That's good. Well, you get a gold watch after 6 months, right?
That's right.
And my wife Betty is sitting here on my right. We don't have a microphone for her, but if she has something to say, she'll scream. She was our co-host of the first hour this morning. So
I'll share my mic with you, Betty, any day.
Isn't she sweet? You're so nice. I have to tell you, when you took care of when I didn't get to go to New York with you, she came back just glowing about what a great job you did looking after her.
Oh,
so
good.
thank you for
She's
that.
pretty
Appreciate
easy.
that. Yeah, well, you put a leash around her neck, and she'll do what she's told. We had to get her a German choke collar, so that she wouldn't try to run away. She used to run away all the time. She'd jump out of the car, actually.
I have a feeling that was for you.
Betty, you didn't run
See that
fast
being
enough.
Betty. I think that was a Gil thing.
See, she doesn't have microphone. She can't fight back. All right, let's get back and talking about the bridge. So you have your Veterans thing that's coming up, and that is on the 9th.
From
That's just
2 to
before
3.
Veterans Day, yeah.
Yep.
I do a special Veterans Day show on Golden Years Theater
Yeah.
every year, so we'll be playing that on
Well,
the
we'll have the presentation of flags and then a short little recognition and then some refreshments and just time to acknowledge the veterans.
What a nice thing to do. So you have how many of them in there?
8.
Wow. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Okay, moving right along. You got the 15th, Thursday the 15th.
We will be having healthy eating for the holidays. I know it doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, but
What are you trying to pull off over there at the bridge?
we're hoping to.
I think I'm trying to come to that one.
I think we all should.
We're partnering with KFKA
Careful.
to help diabetics with grocery shopping
Nice.
and recipes.
Oh, bless your
for
heart.
the-
We went to your last one about, about type 2
Yeah,
diabetes.
So I
Thank
think it
you.
will be really good.
I'm
So-
down to 900,
Wow,
216
that's an improvement.
pounds this morning.
Well
So I'm really
done.
pleased because that's
Good
down from
job.
down from 268 when I had the
That's
heart
awesome,
surgery.
Gil.
So
Congratulations.
well, thank you, Betty. She's been dieting and she's doing much better than I'm doing.
I would
Yeah.
not say her weight, Gil, if
No,
you
I'm
want
not going
to go home today.
If she wants to tell
Okay.
me, oh, she'll just have to push the car.
I was just stopping him for you, Betty.
This may be the funniest segment we've ever done. All right, so healthy eating for the holidays. That's got to be a really popular presentation
Well,
over
it'll
there.
be
I have to say.
focusing on grocery shopping for those popular items around the holidays, and then how to navigate through to keep things healthy but still good.
Still
Speaking of the holidays, what about something called the Holiday Feast? Is coming up Thursday,
We
December
are
the
so
6th, 5
excited.
to 6:30 p.m. at the bridge at Greeley.
We'll have that on the 6th from 5 to 6:30. For those of you that are familiar with the bridge, in the past we had the Thanksgiving feast.
Yes, it was
but,
wonderful.
So this is the rejuvenated event to encompass Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's so sweet.
And New Year's. So we're doing a holiday feast on December 6th from 5 to 6:30. We'd love to have you out. The menu is amazing. I can't share everything because it's just going to be
Well,
dazzling.
you could invite Betty and I back next, what is it, St. Patrick's Day, though? Because
We
I want to
are,
come back and try that
absolutely.
shredded corned beef.
We missed
again.
you at our Oktoberfest.
I know
and
we
it
missed
was
that.
so fun. In
I'm
fact,
so sorry.
I had one gentleman tell me that our food reminded him of when he was in Munich, and it was actually better than what the food he had in Munich.
Remember what year he was there?
I do not.
I was there in 1975, and Betty's sister and her husband took me over there
It
to
probably
Oktoberfest.
would have been late 70s, early 80s.
Have I ever seen a crowd like that? I mean, it was the tent that we went into was the Lowenbrau tent, and it was so full it was like bulging on the outside.
Yeah.
And as soon as they saw that we were Americans, they and they really did overdo their gratitude and everything. But
fun.
they brought us in there and they squeezed us in there, and this table was full of people, and they put us. I was rather thin at the time, which was nice, but they squeezed us in there like that, and so you're eating like you're trying to eat like you're knitting. You get your hands together like this, and it was just marvelous. It was a good time. And the history that was there on those fairgrounds was terrific because that's where several of the gatherings were. Well, I'm so glad you got to come in. Are you still giving tours over there? You said you got the first Sunday of every month.
Right. So October 7th from 1 to 3, we will have that planned. But anytime you can come in for tea and tour with me, and I
With you?
would love to
That's
have you
worth
come
the
in. Just give us a call at 970-339-0022, 970-339-0022. And our address is 4750 25th Street.
Close enough. That's 4750 25th Street,
It's at the crossroads of 25th Street and 47th Avenue.
right across from McDonald's.
Right across.
Can't miss it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
always a pleasure having you in here.
Well, thank you.
This is your first time with us, Chris.
It is my first time.
Gil said that he was going to send his right hand right here.
Here I am.
And I expected to see rings, but we did see that lovely nail polish.
Oh, thanks. Yes.
We're just
My
joking about that.
matching nail polish.
Her business cards are the same color as her nail polish is, and she was showing me how she hands the business cards out. So you're
Not on
recognized.
purpose, Gil. Not
Oh,
on
now don't
purpose.
tell me that.
It totally was an accident.
Why don't you tell us a little about what Seniors Helpers do?
Yeah, so Senior Helpers is a company that serves all of northern Colorado and Larimer and Weld counties, providing in-home senior care. And so we do things like transportation, errands, housekeeping. We can do medication reminders, anything with personal care that people need assistance with. Really anything around the house that needs an extra pair of hands. So any activities of daily living that people need assistance with, we're there to help out.
You know, Gil was in here a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the geographic area you cover. And it's bigger than some states, isn't it?
It is a large area, yes.
It is huge. You guys will go all the way up to the northern border, and I understand that on occasion you have actually gone over the border.
Yep, we've had some clients up in the mountains in Bellevue, so we've had people all over the place that are in more remote, hard to reach locations, but we have amazing caregivers who are willing to make that commute and help out.
We're talking about the Eastern Plains too, about how Gil was telling us anyway about being able to go out there and help, and that's kind of hard to get people to come out there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really glad you came in here. We're going to have to take a break. Mike is going to cut me off if I don't. Tiffy, I'll get to you in just a few minutes. We're so happy you got to come by. You're listening to Senior Circle on 1310 KFK. We're here every Sunday morning from 7 until 9 a.m. Stay with us if you can. We'll be right back. We're back. Halloween's coming up. Did you know that? Ooh, yeah. We're going to do a special Halloween show. We're going to do a special Halloween show tonight on Golden Years Theater. It's called Orson Welles, The Man Who Owned Halloween. Micah actually helped me. He picked out the shows we're going to play tonight. It's going to be some great ones. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Welcome back. It's Senior Circle here on 1310 KFK every Sunday morning from 7 until 9 a.m. So happy to tell you that we broadcast from those fabulous CRP 4x4 studios in Greeley. My name is Gil Moon. I'm your host for Senior Circle and Golden Years Theater every Sunday evening from 6 until 10. As I mentioned, we are going to celebrate Halloween tonight with Orson Welles, The Man Who Owned Halloween. Hope you'll be able to join us from 6 until 10. It's a great show. Hope you, if you haven't listened to it before, we did play it about 4 years ago, was it, Micah? Something like that. But we had a lot of responses to it, and Micah asked to hear it again. So we're going to hear it again tonight. Hey, you know what? We're brought to you by those wonderful folks over at the Bridge Assisted Living in Greeley. Do you know them?
I do know them. They're fabulous.
Oh, they are so nice. Those people are so friendly.
They are family.
You know, they're the
friendly
Goldilocks of assisted living. Did you know that? Yeah, not too big, not too small, but just right.
Just right.
Just love you guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. We love having you here.
Glad
We're
to be
brought
here.
to you by Moser Funeral and Cremation Services, locally owned and operated, honoring the achievements of your loved ones, celebrating life you shared together, and of course the 50 Plus Marketplace News, the #1 monthly publication for those of us in the over 50 crowd. My co-host this hour is the lovely and talented Sue-Ann Switzig, and we're always happy to. What are you doing? Digging around on the floor? Mm-hmm. All right. There's a story about that, you know. She's the community relations director over at the Bridge in Greeley. Next to her is Chris Schneider, and she is the community engagements director. You got a promotion since you came in here, didn't you?
Always promotions. My life.
Senior helpers, and we're always happy to have her here. This is your first time with us, but I hope it won't be the last. Are you having a good time?
After today, maybe you'll not invite me back.
What are you planning to do?
I don't know.
Micah, get the camera.
I just want to know how the porridge is at the Bridge. How's the porridge?
The porridge. We
Hot.
have no porridge.
They
we have
peach
fabulous
porridge
food.
hot, peach porridge cold, peach porridge in the hot, 9 days old. 9 days old, yuck.
That would be pretty gross.
That's really
Might be
gross.
green porridge.
Say hello to Tiffany Skoglund. She's the recreation supervisor at Greeley Active Adult Center. You know, nobody's going to believe this show on Sunday mornings. We get calls sometimes or emails and stuff that say, "What are you doing this early in the morning on Sunday? Are you having that much fun? I don't think it's legal."
Of course we are. That's
Tiffy.
what Sunday mornings are for.
You've been coming in here for some time. We're always happy to see you.
Yeah, it's
You
always
guys-
good to see you guys.
I'm still hearing stories about New York.
Well, good.
They had a great time. Betty had a great time. I hope I get to go
Awesome.
next time. What do you got going on over at the Active Adult Center?
So we got all kinds of stuff going on. We're getting ready to kick off our holiday season, just like everybody else, like the Bridge. We're having some crazy fun events. So our Thanksgiving lunch is coming up, which you want to call and get registered. It will be Thursday, November 8th.
Did Michael get us registered yet? Go call Michael.
I don't know.
Yeah, he usually takes care
I'll
of
have
that
to call a different person. That's not my personal extension.
Oh,
Dang
I
it.
see.
I'll make sure, though.
Yeah, you tell Michael Buckley that he's got to get a table.
I will. So November 8th, we're going to open the doors at 11:30, so don't worry, you're not going to have to stand out there. But you're not going to get fed until 12. And then we have some awesome entertainment, so bring your family and friends. Anybody's welcome. You don't have to be a member. It's $8, which is a heck of a deal for a full meal.
You guys feed them. Oh, my gosh, we've had some great meals over there.
You will walk
Really
out of
have.
their stuff like Thanksgiving, but luckily it's the afternoon. You can go and do something else.
Take a
Play
nap.
bingo.
Betty says she's going to
We
nap.
have bingo right after that grocery bingo, so you can go in there and, get that blood pressure up and win some groceries.
Grocery bingo.
Yeah,
Every
so to
time.
register for that meal, make sure you call 970-350-9440. Again, 970-350-9440. And make sure you get registered at least a week in advance, please, because we're going to cut it off because we have to grocery shop and do all that good stuff, all that behind-the-scenes fun.
November the 8th.
November the 8th.
Yeah, I'll mention that tonight on the show.
All right. So we have that coming up. And then we have our annual tree trimming we will be doing on Wednesday, November 28th, which is a little bit sooner than maybe some people are putting up their trees. But we want to make sure we're ready for our big Christmas lunch,
Yeah.
our what else do we got going on? Our bridge tournament. And then we have a bunch of holiday stuff. It seems like every day there's more food and something else to celebrate all of December. Guaranteed 10-pound gain. But then, yes, healthy eating. I do have some healthy eating classes coming up in December as well. Ways to know what is sugar and that type of thing and how to make it still taste good. So definitely give us a holler, come down and get our calendar and see everything we offer. But our tree trimming will be coming up. So if you'd like to come down, wear a festive sweater. Come on down. That'll be Wednesday the 28th. We will have some refreshments at 1 o'clock.
What is a festive sweater?
So you can call it ugly, you can call it beautiful, you can call it whatever you want.
I know a little bit about that, just a little bit about that.
Sometimes I think my sweaters are ugly and I get so many compliments by the time I leave work. I think it's a beautiful sweater.
We saw Michael at lunch the other day, and he came in there. Michael loves to wear those sweaters and stuff like that. I said,
He
you're too early.
does.
It's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, though. Hopefully without the white stuff on the ground. So that is coming. As a city of Greeley, as the Colorado Parks and Recreation Department, we are offering free admission into the rec center and the family funplex, I believe, on Sunday, November 11th for Veterans Day.
Oh, bless your
So definitely
heart.
if you're a veteran and you want to get out there and maybe do some walking, or maybe the weather's not good, or, you're tired from an event, you eat too much at somebody else's event maybe, where the food's always fabulous at the bridge. Come to one of those facilities and walk a little and enjoy a free admission. We're not doing it at the Active Adult Center just because we're not open on Sundays. So that's definitely coming up. We got all kinds of good stuff coming up. We just had an awesome square dance party Saturday night. So last night, the 27th.
Did you go?
I did not. My family likes to see me every now and then, so
really?
I can't go to everything.
Well, I think I can go along with that.
My
We're always
husband
happy to
likes
see
that
you
home
here.
cooking every now and then. So, and then last weekend we had the Halloween dance, which was a really good success. So
Was
we're
that a costume thing?
excited. Some people dressed up and some didn't, but it was really a fun event. So we're just excited about all of our huge changes, and we're just continuing to grow. We had our annual soup and sandwich last week on the 18th. Well, I guess 2 weeks ago now.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And we did our pie in the face for the first time with all of the staff.
Oh,
if you're ever
man.
interested to see pies, I believe I received about 11 pies in my face.
Did you get pictures of that?
Oh, we have lots of pictures.
Oh, I had to go see
And-
those. I want to go see those pictures.
And Suzanne was gracious enough to come from the Greeley place and MC it for us. She did all the jars and everything. Scott Schuttenberg, our superintendent,
Scott, right.
got the most pies.
And how many?
I can't remember if he had 13. But it was between him and Laura, our front desk gal. He might have
Oh,
had 13,
man.
and she might have had 14, actually.
Sue Ann, did you participate in the pie in the face?
I did not participate. I have a pie in the face phobia.
So we actually use shaving
Chris, is there a name
cream.
for that? Come up with a name, quick.
Pie in the face phobia. I don't know. Yeah.
So we actually use
There's
shaving
got to be a
cream.
name. Wait a minute. There's got to be a name for that. We need to have that before we cut off the
There
air.
is,
here.
undoubtedly.
Pie phobia.
I think it's
Phobia.
I think it's facial foam phobia.
Yeah.
Pie and the puss phobia.
There we go.
There you go. I'm telling you,
That
this
one
is going
could
to be
end
one
the
of those
show.
shows that we're going to
That
not want to play a
works.
second time. We're having too much fun in here. What is it about you guys? Huh?
So we did actually, we wore safety glasses from the wood shop, thank goodness, because we thought that was probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whipped cream in the eyes.
But I got nailed in the face the minute I took them down once, so don't worry, it went everywhere. And we used shaving cream because actually it's much easier to get off, and when you're getting that amount of it thrown at you.
You know Fair Acres Manor, right?
It was really a fun event.
They have that summer thing that they do, and they have that dunking pool and all of this stuff. Kathy Gardner and Kathy Mickelberg used to come in. Kathy's sister, remember that?
Yes.
And we were over there, and I can't remember, we were over there 2 or 3 times, but I remember going over there one time, and here's Kathy Mickelberg. She was up there, she got absolutely soaked, and every time she turned around, somebody wanted to dunk her in that thing. Well, then, to add insult to injury, she would get done with that, and she's drying off and everything, and somebody came up and got her with a pie right in the face, and that they were using whipped cream over there. And she was laughing so hard that I thought she was going to pass out. She was laughing so hard from that. And here's Kathy Gardner just, laughing right at her.
Yeah.
And she turns around and took the pie off of her face and gave it to Kathy Gardner.
Yeah, we were kind of doing that amongst ourselves, so it was pretty fun. But with that amount of pies, we didn't want to be that sticky because we still had to work. And Sherry, I think, got 9 pies in her face.
Get out of here.
And she's not here with us today because she is somewhere tropical.
Yeah, rumor has it she's down there doing some scuba diving. Huh?
She is.
Well, she's really active. When I found out she was a water
She snorkels. She doesn't scuba dive.
Oh, is that what it is?
Bruce scuba dives, her husband.
Right.
But she is an amazing water skier. A little hint, she probably wouldn't want this on the radio.
She was a very good water skier.
But she actually applied to be a water skier at SeaWorld when she was young.
Oh.
So there's a little fact everybody knows about Sherry, and don't tell her I told you. I know nobody's listening.
Yeah, it's a secret, folks.
It's a secret.
Both of you who are listening, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, so when she comes back all tan and relaxed, you'll know why.
I used to do timekeeping at the senior, we can't call it Olympics, the senior games, and Bruce always, he and I did those things together.
Bruce is awesome out at the track.
Perry Buck was over there a couple of times with us, too. We had a great time over there.
Yeah, that was always a good time.
People want to get a hold of you, they call the number?
So just call our front desk for anything going on, or we can mail you a newsletter. You can jump online. Our phone number is 970-350-9440. Again, 970-350-9440.
You don't have to run out here right away, do you?
Nope, I'll do the next one because then I'll tell you about our big trips coming up in 2019.
Great, I want to hear about that. You're going to Greece, you said, right?
Maybe. You got to wait and see.
Okay, we will. And you're going to stick around, aren't you, Chris?
I'll be here.
We'll hear a little bit more about senior helpers. So, when you see Gil again, tell him hi for me. We had a great time in here trying to decide which one of us was leading.
Gil squared.
He's terrific. You're listening to Senior Circle here on 1310 KFKA. We're right back after these important messages. Stay with us if you can. I'm going to have to say this is probably the most fun I've ever had with my clothes on. This has been a pretty good show.
Well, I'm glad we're all keeping it on, Gil. We're having fun with our clothes on.
You remember Phil Walker? Anybody remember Phil Walker? He used to be on COL. Anyway, I used to do a show with him lots of time, and he used to like to tell people that he always did the show in the nude.
Oh, my.
Senior Circle is the name of the game every Sunday morning between 7 and 9 a.m. here on 1310 KFK. We broadcast from the fabulous CRP 4x4 studios in Greeley, Colorado. My name is Gil Moon, and I'm your host for Senior Circle and Golden Years Theater every Sunday evening from 6 until 10, both of which are brought to you in part by The Bridge Assisted Living in Greeley, the Goldilocks of assisted living, not too big, not too small, but just right. Mosher Funeral and Cremation Services, locally owned and operated, honoring the achievements of your loved ones and celebrating life you shared together, and Columbine Health Systems, celebrating 47 years of service to the senior community in northern Colorado. Please remember that at Columbine, your family. My co-host this morning in this hour is Sue Ann Switzig. She is the Community Relations Director at the Bridge at Greeley. That's quite a title, Community Relations Director.
It's a wonderful title.
And what a wonderful time you have at that job.
I do.
Do you ever stop smiling?
No.
I haven't seen you quit yet.
No.
We've known each other for about a year, I guess, maybe a little longer. Huh?
It's a great experience. Wonderful to work with the community, the family that I have at the Bridge.
Beach parties.
Have
some great times over there. Yeah, we had some good times.
I
am sorry we missed Oktoberfest. We had a previous engagement. But
we're sorry to have missed you as well. But we have a great holiday feast coming up on December 6th. I'm announcing it very early so everybody gets it on their calendar because I know how December fills up.
You're asking for RSVP on that too, aren't you?
Yes, we'd like an RSVP the Monday prior to the 6th, and just give us a call at 970-339-0022, and we'll save a spot for you. We have some amazing food that will be served that day.
Let's try to get in there for that, Betty. Okay.
That'd
Betty
be
says
great.
okay.
Yeah.
We're also joined by the lovely and talented Tiffany Skoglund. She's a recreation supervisor over at the Greeley Active Adult Center. In just a moment, we're going to hear a little bit about some of the trips you've got planned. But let's get back and talk just a bit with Chris Schneider. You know, she's the Community Engagement Director at Senior Helpers. The Senior Helpers, we had a good time in here when Gil was in here. You know, we were trying to Gil Squared. That was fun, too.
Yeah, he's got that good radio voice, right?
He is actually very good.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of worried about my job for a few minutes. Of course, now I'm worried about Tiffany's going to get it.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, you are good. You are good. So Senior Helpers has been around for how long here, Northern Colorado?
So in Greeley, Senior Helpers has been around since 2009, so for quite a while. That runs out of the Greeley place.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a full staff there that offers concierge services to the residents at Greeley Place. And we also have a lot of caregivers that are in the Greeley area that do work outside of Greeley Place, taking care of people who need a little bit of extra assistance in their homes, wherever it is that they call home. And we have a lot of people in Fort Collins area, Loveland area, Berthoud, Johnstown, you name it. We're all over the place.
You guys are really active, too. I can't think of an event I've been to recently that I haven't run into you guys, but we had a good time over the Alzheimer's event. And we were just over there. I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but we were having as much fun as at your little, what did they call that? That little cubicle that you guys had? What
Yeah,
was that?
the tent.
The tent,
Yeah.
We were having as much fun over there. We had a lot of nice people drop by and say hi.
Well, you know, we only come to these events just to see you, Gil.
Oh, well, I admire your taste.
Well, and Sue-Ann, definitely you too.
I'm feeling a little
Well, we have to both
slighted,
admire her
Chris.
taste. And we get such a good time when Gil and I get together because we both spell our names the same, which is kind of rare. Most everybody spells it with 2 L's, and we spell it with 1, which is, I guess it's okay. But we were joking about that back and forth and having a good time with that. Tell me, how can people get in touch with you so they can take advantage of Senior Helpers?
Yeah, any services that are needed, any questions about those services. You know, we specialize in Alzheimer's and dementia and also Parkinson's care, so we can help with any connections and resources in the community outside of our services. So anything at all, just give us a ring. Our number is 970-658-8228, and you can also go to seniorhelpersnoco.com, and there are a lot of resources and information there as well.
My pencil's a little short here. Could you give me that telephone number again?
Sure, it's 970-658-8228.
You're having a good time, aren't you?
I always have a good
We're
time.
going to probably have to bring you back. This has been
It's totally
exciting
my
as we've had
life's
this week.
goal is to have fun.
Well, it looks like you
And
gained
you
it.
guys,
She brings
so
a
much
smile
fun.
to
That's what
wherever
life
she's at.
is.
Right?
I like that.
Well, I have to tell you, we've gone to a lot of lunches over there at the Active Adult Center, which used to be the Greeley Senior Center. And Tiffany can be very entertaining. We've had some good times over there, and I was thinking
In
of,
an appropriate way.
yes, we were, and I was thinking
Clothes
of Thanksgiving 2 years ago, but Father's Day, we had a Think Father's Day a couple of years ago too, that Michael invited us over there, and I was just enjoying the entertainment so much. It was a fellow, and he was playing the banjo or something.
Oh,
Remember
probably.
that?
Sherry does an awesome job with the
Oh, you
entertainment.
get
She
some great-
sticks me in
You
the
know, she
kitchen.
actually had
She
me
gets
come
to
over.
do that part.
She had me do the Halloween thing one year, and
Oh,
we did the War of the Worlds. You know, remember I used to do Orson Welles, and we did
Yeah.
the War of the Worlds thing.
Yeah, she does all that. Sherry's awesome at that. She's got all of her entertainment, and then I cook. She doesn't want to ever trade. I've been trying, but she's not going
Well,
to trade.
Because you're such a good cook.
You are a good cook, and the meals are
My husband
always...
would probably disagree. I only cook at work. He doesn't pay me enough.
That's right. Negotiation.
Yeah, I was going to say, there ought to be a way you can work that one out.
Right? He's got to learn.
Hey, listen, sweetie, you're going to be taking some trips here.
We
We kind
are.
of did a tickler there about Greece, but you said that's kind of up in the air.
Yes. So we're coming to the end of 2018, so it's time to get ready for 2019 where we're going to go. So actually, Tuesday coming up, the 30th, we'll at 9 o'clock at the Active Adult Center. We have our Greece travel show where I'll have a representative from Globus down talking about it. And then at 10:30, we'll have our fall foliage travel, which will be a tour that's Boston up through Maine, and then we end back in Boston. So they're both flights. They're not motor coach the whole time. Obviously, when we get into Boston, we will be motor coaching to see all the awesome colors. So that is on the 30th at 9 and at 10:30. And the Greece tour actually is, I believe, 12 days. So we fly in, we do a bus tour, and then we cruise in the middle for, I believe, 3 or 4 days. So we see all the islands. We do have a stop in Turkey. Do not fear, never fear. You do not have to get off the boat if Turkey scares you. If you believe when it's your time, it's your time. I'm getting off that boat to say I was in Turkey, but that's just me. But everything is safe there. They do not ever port somewhere not safe. Globus is amazing. I've had over 300 travelers with them, and I have yet to have any problems. They're very good. Greece is becoming a very stable country compared to where it was 9 years ago when I started doing this, and people really wanted to go. So it's going to be a great trip. If you can't make it on the 30th, we'll do it again on the 9th from 2 to 3. And then 2 to 3 will be Greece. And then we'll do it the fall from 3 to 4 on the 9th, on Friday the 9th. And then on Tuesday, November 27th, we'll have the last travel show for both of them from 10:30 to 11. Or from 11:30 to 12:30. But to find out about these big trips, you actually can call my direct line, which is 970-350-9436. Again, 970-350-9436. And that'll get you directly to me, and I will call you back as soon as possible and let you know details, or I can always mail you out stuff. So it's a great time. Lots of friendships, lots of great memories. I've yet to have anybody complain too much, so... Other than the flight. We need to get a Learjet. The flight is always the complaint.
Only complaint I've got is that I didn't get to go to New York with you, but
I know.
I sure do appreciate it.
But Betty got to go wild, so...
Yeah, I heard about that. We got some
Betty.
pictures, and she had that little Petey dog with her all the time, too.
She
so
had a great time. So
we
we always have a good time. So, and don't forget, we always have day trips. So even if you're not into the, going out, you don't want to fly, you don't want to leave home, you just want to go for the day, we've got the awesome Lindsay who runs all of our day trips. We've got anywhere from 2 to 3 day trips a week. Yesterday, they just went up and did the Stanley and did kind of a haunted tour.
Isn't that neat? Yeah.
Yes, I've done that in the past. They had a great time. So definitely come down, check us out. We've got a ton of stuff. You cannot be bored.
You know, that Boston thing you're talking about with the leaves and things, we had Nate Lampkin in here this morning from Pathways, and that's where he's from, and we were talking briefly about the color changes off the air. It was so beautiful.
Beautiful.
I want to ask you about giraffes.
I love giraffes.
I could never tell. Your office, you have all kinds of giraffe little paraphernalia.
I have
and
a
things
few in my office. My house is worse. I have to admit, my house is pretty much decorated.
How did you
in
get tied
giraffes.
up with giraffes?
I just started loving them. My mom used to go to Africa actually as a missionary, and so some of my giraffes at home stand about 3 foot tall, and they're hand carved actually from Africa that she brought back. So
wood, then I guess.
They're wood. Yep.
Well, I noticed that you had some really cute things over
Love
there.
them.
That was really
it's
nice.
An awesome animal.
We were down to San Antonio, and they have that drive-through animal park thing. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes.
And they have the giraffes that are walking loose there, and you get up. I mean, you just cross the fence from you there.
It's awesome.
And people don't realize baby giraffes are very, very big. But then you take a look at their parents, and they're twice as tall as that. They have such graceful movements, even when they're not necessarily trying to be graceful, but you see one of those in motion. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful animals. Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, you can always feed them there, too. That's a great place to go if you want to.
What were you doing over there? Were you showing us?
They have big eyelashes.
They do.
Yes, and they have very long tongues.
Very long tongue.
If you ever watch some of those movies on YouTube, they show them and they can reach up. But they're probably over 3 feet.
Animal.
Yeah.
They get those leaves.
Yeah, they don't even have to move. It's
and
like
when they get a sore throat, they had a thing on there about, they actually have to put them out so that they can swab their throats.
Really?
Yeah.
I never even thought about them getting sore throats. That's so sad.
Well, there's a lot of things going around, yeah.
That's a big strep throat.
Yeah, well, if you take a look at YouTube, there's a story out there about Africa. And it was, where was that? It was one of the major zoos. I'm not sure where it was.
Awesome,
maybe San Diego or something like that.
San Diego has a bunch. So definitely give me a holler about those trips, and we will get to do some traveling.
You want to give us a number one more time? We got about a minute here.
So about the big trips, you can call me directly, 970-350-9436, 970-350-9436.
You're always a
Come on down and see us.
Come on down. Stay with us if you can. We have one more segment here this Sunday morning. It's 1310 KFKA in Greeley, Colorado. Senior Circle's the name of the show. We'll be right back. The wildest party you've ever attended on Sunday morning is probably given at Senior Circle here on 1310 KFK in Greeley, Colorado. We broadcast from the fabulous CRP 4x4 studios at 1310 KFK. My name is Gil Moon. I'm your host for Senior Circle and Golden Years Theater here on 1310 KFK every Sunday evening from 6 until 10. We're brought to you by those wonderful folks at the Bridge Assisted Living in Greeley. At least we were until today. The Goldilocks of assisted living, not too big, not too small, but just right. Windsong Memory Care, a brand new Montessori-inspired memory care community located here in northern Colorado. That's Windsong at Northridge over at 7010 West 8th Street. We're brought to you, too, by Moser Funeral and Cremation Services, locally owned and operated, honoring the achievements of your loved ones and celebrating the life you shared together. And Fair Acres Manor, right here in Greeley, where they put the home back in nursing home. Let me remind you, too, coming up on December the 9th between 4 and 6 p.m., we've got the Lights of Hope. This is their second annual event over at the Greeley let me get this right. Community Grief Center, the Community Grief Center, located at 2105 Clubhouse Drive in their brand new facility. They just recently moved in there, had a wonderful opening day. Betty and I were over there with Debbie and Al and everybody. Why don't you give them a call at 970-506-4114, 970-516-4114, and find out more about the Lights of Hope event coming up, second annual event on December the 9th, 4 to 6 p.m. Well, my co-host in this hour has been, and I hope you will forgive me for all the fun we've had.
It's been a fun morning.
Sue-Ann Switzig is the Community Relations Director at the Bridge at Greeley and a very dear friend. We also have got Chris Schneider, and she's the Community Engagement Director at Senior Helpers. And, of course, Tiffany Skoglund. She is the Recreation Supervisor at the Greeley Active Adult Center. And sitting next to me is Harpo Marks. She hasn't really said much in this hour, but she was my co-host in the first one. My lovely wife, Betty, of 52 years. You guys like old-time radio? I do.
We do.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I do. You know, Betty actually got me started in 1967. She bought me the Jack Benny Golden Treasury of old-time radio. Oh, look at this. I've never seen anything like this. I wish we had TV. Now, we've got three lovely ladies, each of whom have grown a mustache. And you don't even look Italian. I mean,
I know.
this is cool. What gave you that idea? How come yours is curly?
We all invented our own.
Oh, I see. And you got the Tom Selleck mustache over there, Chris.
I do, yes.
You know, his mustache has its own Facebook page. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I could see that.
Are you a big fan of his?
No.
Oh, I am a huge fan.
That's a little much.
I'm a huge fan.
Not the short shorts, though. Those have
This
to
one-
they're
this one
short
almost
shorts,
looks like who would that be? Oh, it's a Fu Manchu. That's almost a Fu Manchu.
Almost.
Yeah.
That's really good. How long did it take you to grow those?
Seconds.
10 minutes.
All right, we're getting way off track here. I just want to remind everybody tonight we're going to be celebrating Halloween on Golden Years Theater with Orson Welles, the man who owned Halloween. We're going to start off with Remembering War of the Worlds from 1955. That's a BBC offering called the Orson Welles Sketchbook. Then we've got the Summer Theater. We got The Hitchhiker from 1946, pardon me. The Mercury Theater on the air, their very first broadcast of Dracula, 1938. Suspense, Donovan's Brain. This is for Mikey Kilpatrick, my producer, and he just has been such a great supporter all these years. We got parts 1 and 2 of Donovan's Brain from 1944. And then for all of you aficionados, we'll finish up the night with War of the Worlds, the original broadcast by Orson Welles from 1938. That would have been October the 30th on the Mercury Theater on the air. So join us every Sunday evening from 6 until 10 on 1310 KFK for Golden Years Theater. We've been on here now for 15 years.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
What are you doing Sunday? Actually, we get texts back and forth sometime on Sunday. You're over there doing
the
open
first Sunday
houses?
of every month, we have an open house at the Bridge. And welcome to come in for tours, partake in a church service if you'd like. We have some great treats, but most of all, it's about learning about our community, our family, and how welcome we are for us to be the caregivers so you can remain the family.
Now, you have an association with just across the parking lot
We
for
do.
the Life Center,
with,
right?
Life Care Centers of America. They are a rehab and skilled nursing community, and they do an amazing job getting people back on their feet after maybe a hip surgery or a knee surgery or even an accident that,
Yep.
people need that little extra help. And with that, if they're not ready to go home, we also have respite rooms at the Bridge, which allow for a short-term stay at a great price with all the care involved.
It's a lovely facility, too, and we've had some wonderful meals over there, great times. Is Rick Blessing coming back up there soon?
I think we have him scheduled early next year. But
Boy, I hope we get to see him again.
Yeah.
The last time we were over there, we had such a great time. Thanks for having us over there. We really enjoyed
Absolutely.
being over there a lot.
We're all about community, and in September we had Assisted Living Week, and one of the things we did is we went to the residents and to the employees and asked them 3 things on their bucket list. And this past week we were able to fulfill a lot of people's wish of being up in a hot air balloon. And we were able to have a hot air balloon in the field right across from us.
Wow.
Thank you to Weld County Garage for letting us use that field. But they went up in the balloon last Wednesday.
Did you?
It's an
Did you
amazing
go?
experience.
I didn't go. I helped residents get across the street, and I'd been up in one before, so I wanted to make sure everybody had an
scared.
opportunity. No, I
No,
wasn't.
I would be too.
But it was a great experience, and
That's one of those things that people dream about, but sometimes when you get down right to the short hair, you say, no, I don't think I'll do that, because
Right.
it is kind of frightening there.
but the residents had a great time, even just watching. It got a little windy, so we had to take it down a little early. But that's where we're about our residents and our staff to make sure that we're fulfilling their dreams, but vice
That's
versa.
awesome.
You said that you went to see Mary Poppins.
I did.
Do you know Allison Clark? She's on the show here regularly with us there. They have those group rate things that they do over there.
Yes.
And they make some wonderful accommodations for people like
They
would
do.
be for
Yeah,
the
groups
bridge
of
and
12
places.
or higher, they can do a group rate, and they do a nice job with that.
Well, the
So-
discount's very attractive, and it's really worthwhile to do that. You ought to
is.
give some thought to that. What's your favorite show you've ever seen over there? You've been there quite a while, as I recall.
I have enjoyed Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
Yeah.
and
Have you seen The Wizard of Oz
gosh,
there?
I have
Oh,
seen the Wizard
yeah,
of
that
Oz
was
there.
fun.
And Tiffany was, I'm a Wizard of Oz girl.
Well, you should be talking to Mark Langness. He's a
yeah,
huge Wizard
yeah.
of Oz fan.
I have a whole room full of paraphernalia.
Well, you should talk to him. His dad was a big one.
Collectibles.
Good
yes,
for you,
definitely
and
collectibles.
hang on
Not
to them.
edibles, collectibles.
You know what I always say is all my collectibles are going to end up in a garage sale when I'm gone because nobody's going to think they're worth anything.
Well,
do you-
mine has some pretty fun things in it. So
Chris, what do you do for recreation besides ride Harleys?
Oh yeah, riding Harleys, definitely. That's what I do every single day when I'm done with work. I scoot home on my Harley.
What do they call that seat?
What, the
I
seat
don't-
behind?
I don't think you
That's
really
the
wanna
hot
tell-
seat, Gil.
Oh, that's the hot seat. I'd heard a different term.
The hottie seat? Oh,
hottie.
I'd heard
oh
a
wow, I
different
think I just
term
got a
for it, too.
compliment.
Yes.
Thanks, Sue-Ann.
So you spend a lot of hours on those, huh?
Yeah, many hours when I worked there back in the day.
How long did you work at Harley?
I was there for about 5 years. So I started out as an intern when I was going to college back at UW and worked in the computer sciences, I guess you could call it, but computer repair department. So we were like computer support.
Didn't Gil work in that business for a while? too?
Yeah, Gil was at
'Cause I
Harley.
spent almost
Yeah.
25 years in that
Yep,
business.
yep.
Well, I guess we
he was
can't-
actually at Harley too, so that's how we crossed paths many years ago. But yeah, so computer support. I actually dropped a full computer monitor, like a brand new one, like second day on the job as an intern. Yeah, totally broke that. But they were really nice about it, and it was fantastic. It was good. It was totally great. It was fine. Yeah, I know, right? And I ended up doing data. Yeah, see? Oh, you dated an IT director?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you were one. So you know how this is. You're like,
That was a
oh,
Banner,
that dang
right?
intern.
Banner Health, right.
That intern, she broke it.
There's a lot of us out there wandering around in the dark now that started out, working in IT. And, I went to work in 1967. I went to work in that business. And it's funny because it's in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, it was really a fraternity more than it was an occupation. And you worked with the same people over and over and over again. And there were 11 of us who had started out at Computer Usage Corporation in Palo Alto. And there's 3 of us still left that are still alive. But, we went camping together. We were friends together for, I'd have to say, over 20 years. And it was amazing that people would stick together. And if you heard of an opening that maybe a friend of yours could fill, you'd call them up and give it to them, or vice versa. If you were looking for work, it was really quite an experience. I'm glad I lived it.
It's true. It still happens today. I mean,
Yeah.
I still get people
they?
asking me for recommendations. And yeah, it's an amazing
Well, yeah, but you're
small world.
50 years younger than I am, so you probably still have friends that are alive. I don't.
Only
you're
50?
quite
Come on
right.
now.
Yeah, wait a minute. How old are you, Gil?
Yeah.
Older than you think. Let me tell you, when you wake up in the morning, you're my age. If it doesn't hurt, it isn't working.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm not sure I want to hear this.
Exciting morning.
I
I
feel
think
like we
we
bring
all
this show
forgot to
down.
have coffee.
Oh, I had
What did you
coffee.
put in the
coffee?
coffee this morning, Gil?
Well, you're drinking it. You must ask for seconds.
Oh, no.
I guess as we got 2 minutes left, I want to talk about what's the most important thing in Halloween season that you remember, Tiffany.
Oh, as a kid? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a hard one.
Oh.
Honestly, growing up, we didn't celebrate it because of my parents' religion. My mother was very anti, so I would have to say my daughter, when I became a mom, I totally embraced it, and I was a rebel.
She dressed up like a giraffe?
Her second Halloween, she had 3 costumes.
Oh, my.
One for the boo at the zoo. She was a ladybug there. She was a big elephant for another party we went to. And then she was a pumpkin. She's been a lot of things. I've really enjoyed
Betty was
it
a pumpkin
with
the year
her.
she was pregnant. She was a pumpkin for Halloween.
So it's fun.
What about you, Chris? What's your favorite Halloween memory?
The one that comes to mind is logging through, I swear, and I know everybody's like, no, Colorado didn't get that much snow, but I'm telling you guys, we used to get a lot more snow than we get now. A lot more. So I was sloshing through about, knee-deep snow with my full getup in high school. I mean, I had this, crazy awesome costume, and I was drenched in snow because I had to get candy.
How about you, Sue Ann? Have you got a Halloween memory before we go?
Sure, my mom always made every holiday special, but it was carving pumpkins and then having chili and cinnamon rolls after you went trick-or-treating.
And pumpkin seeds.
Honey, thanks so much for being with us. Swen Swissig is the Community Relations Director over at the Bridge at Greeley. Chris Schneider is the Community Engagement Director at Senior Helpers. And the lovely and talented Tiffany Skoglund, the Recreation Supervisor at the Greeley Active Adult Center. Thank you, ladies, for being with us. Thank you, Betty. And I hope you don't monopolize the conversation next time I have you on.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gil.
Be sure to
Thank
listen to
you, Gil,
Golden
for
Years
having
Theater
us all.
tonight, where we're going to be celebrating Halloween with Orson Welles, the man who owned Halloween. We'll be back next Sunday morning with more Senior Circle, right here on 1310 KFKA, Greeley, Colorado.